Hey, what's up guys, it's Brandonho here, and today we're going to the streets to find out what Malaysians think about Icerd. So let's do it. First of all, please introduce yourself. What is your name?
I'm Arif.
My name is Hui Jing.
Hi, my name is Dixon.
我是毛先生。
What is your name?
Joshua Mo.
My question to you is regarding the recent issues in Malaysia. So I want to know, Arif, what do you think of Icerd in general?
Based on my understanding, so ICER is all about the elimination of racial discrimination. As for me, I think there are certain things that should not be implemented. For example, in Malaysia itself, we have Hak Keistimewaan Orang Melayu, which have been implemented for the decades, and we don't have any issue on that. We can live peacefully and happily, and I think it's good if we can just go on with it. There is no even any major issue with that. So I think if we have been done this for decades, then just let it be. Just go on with it.
I think it is there to stir shit in a way because honestly speaking, we know that the new Malaysia Baru does not have racial discrimination anymore, and whether it is there or it is not there, it really doesn't matter because there's no racial discrimination. I think the problem is a lot of people think that you have like the whole new economy policy, and that is equivalent to racial discrimination, right? So there are so many other ways of defining what is racial discrimination, right? It's just something that people will just take out as a topic to stir racial discrimination when it is not even existent.
I think Icerd is something that is really needed in the world right now because there's a lot of racial tensions and a lot of religious issues that's causing war all over the world, not just Malaysia.
I think Icerd is good for long run, but because Malaysia is a sensitive country, probably it's not the right time to do it now lah. But in the long run, I think we should sign it.
Personally, just based on the name itself, I think it's a good thing because it's against all racial discrimination. But it also works as a double-edged sword. So I mean, I don't know the fine details about Icerd, but how it can be used and how it cannot, and what kind of constraints it will impose on our society. But then for Malaysia, just for the racial aspect of it, I think it's in line with our true values. Right?
In your opinion, do you think Icerd is good for Malaysia? Do you think it should be ratified?
No, personally for myself, there are certain things that Icerd is good and certain things that Icerd should not be implemented. Based on what I've said just now, we generally have been in Malaysia for a long time. I mean, then we have no issue with the Icerd before. So maybe it is implemented in other countries, but the Malaysia itself, I believe it can stand by its own without Icerd itself.
It shouldn't even be a topic of discussion.
Okay.
Honestly, because
It doesn't exist in the first place.
it doesn't exist in the first place. Racial discrimination is there or not, it's up to your own definition.
In my personal opinion, I do believe that Icerd is a good thing. Originally, all this racial tension was created by our foreign invaders, like during the Japanese opposition. All this racial tension was stirred by the Japanese to create tension and to make it easier for them to govern us. However, even though after so many years, these racial tensions remain and lingers, which is something very weird because it's something negative that was brought upon to make it easier to control us. So why are we still letting it stay and control us?
So you think it is good that Malaysia should ratify Icerd?
Generally, Icerd is just basically trying to give everyone equal rights. It's not trying to favor anyone specific. So people say life is not fair, but if you can take steps to make things fair and equal for everyone, give everybody the same opportunity regardless of your race, whether you're Malay, Chinese, Indian, I don't see why is that a negative thing or why is it a bad thing.
Do you think Icerd is good for Malaysia? It should be ratified?
I think yes. It's a very,
So I assume that you think it is good. Icerd is good for Malaysia and should be ratified.
Yes.
Do you see a future in where Icerd is ratified in Malaysia?
As what I can see, I think based on my current view, I think it's not implemented and will not be implemented, but I'm not sure about that.
It shouldn't be in a topic to talk about, honestly, because the moment you sign the thing, you actually admit that there is racial discrimination in the country, right? So either way, it's not good.
This is
very hard to say because it really depends on education and at grassroots levels, trying to slowly introduce these equality values to more and more people, not just of one race or among all races. Trying to instill this in grassroots level, especially in school, I believe is the first step in making this possible.
Do you foresee a future Malaysia where Icerd will be ratified?
I hope so lah. I hope so. But it all depends. It depends on the political situation in Malaysia lah. Whether is it the right time to sign it. Anyway, at the moment, I think probably it's a good decision not to sign first lah. Because our new government is still new. So there are a lot of issues they have to look into it. Probably this one they can leave it aside first.
That's a tough one. I hope for a future that we can actually ratify this. It's no-brainer actually, right? I mean, even other Muslim countries has already ratified, and Malaysia is like Malaysia has to ratify it because it goes against all our values. It goes against the Muslim values. It goes against all religions' values. Right, if you don't ratify it. But the thing about racial discrimination in Malaysia is it's not just subtle, it's kind of obvious, but the discriminated are just quiet for 60 years. That's about it. So unless the non-discriminated, let's say the Bumiputras, make a stand for us, we have nothing to say. Because once you bring this kind of issue up, you get shut down very heavily. So it's our plea that our Bumiputra brothers can make a stand and stay with the non-Bumiputras, like protect our rights as well. And we protect theirs. It's a true Malaysian spirit. Yeah, you pray for one another, even different religions, different races. We protect each other, not fight against each other.
So there you have it, guys. These are the opinions of our fellow Malaysians. I wish to stress that there is no such thing as a right answer to this, and I also urge everyone who's watching right now to also respect their opinions and their answers as they are. Until next time, I'm signing out of here.